Welcome to Home Gupshup. This week we are celebrating a little something I like to call a week of home love. Through small acts of organizing, cleaning, and decorating, I'm doing things around the house that make being at home feel even more joyful and exciting. We all have our good days and not so good ones, but if you're craving a little lift, try celebrating your own version of home love. By the end of it, you might just feel more content and at peace because at the end of the day, it's our home we always come back to, right? Have you ever found yourself thinking, I might not be in this house too long, and then put off organizing or decorating because of it? I'm guilty of that, and that's exactly why I never really did much with my backup pantry. Up until now, everything was stacked neatly but sitting in cardboard boxes. While that worked, I knew it wasn't the best long term solution. So finally, I picked up some baskets and two wire storage bins from Ikea, and honestly, they've already made such a difference. They make everything easier to see and keep things nicely separated. If you've got the space, I totally recommend going for the larger sized baskets. I've always maintained a backup pantry because I hate last minute grocery runs, but that also means keeping a close check so nothing goes to waste. These IKEA baskets are perfect for the job, and the best part, they're reusable in so many other ways later if I need to switch things around. I also picked up one basket with a lid, which is great for stacking, and I've kept all the extra nuts in that one. So now the pulses, chips, noodles, everything has its place, and just like that, pantry organization done. It was a second home after marriage, maybe a year in. We didn't have the most organized setup or the right resources back then. One day, mom came to visit and casually asked to see my kitchen cabinets. She saw and said, "Let me help you a bit." I was curious what she'd do, and all she did was emptied out some things from their original packaging and shifted them, moved things from larger jars to smaller ones, and so on. She took note of what all things were needed and then took me to the supermarket for supplies. We came home, and in no time, I had for myself a beautiful pantry, a spice one too, and cabinets that looked fabulous. I learned that day that it's not just about buying and throwing all the grocery supplies here at once. It's an entire flow of tracking, shifting, cleaning, stock taking, and whatnot. It was such an eye opener, and I learned that this is truly what home love is all about. Definitely not limited to the kitchen, but just an example at that. Honestly, kitchen management feels like a full blown science sometimes, and I wonder why we don't give it enough credit. From tracking expiry dates to following first in, first out to ensuring there's nutrition, balance, and variety, it's so much more than it seems. But that's also what I love about being a homemaker. It's a constant rhythm, always evolving, always teaching something new. I don't mean to take you all down memory lane again and again, but Dalgona coffee was our thing back in hostel days. Of course, it got a whole revival during the pandemic, and we all jumped on the trend. But for me, it'll always remind me of those late night hostel chats and lazy afternoons with friends. Now, as the seasons are slowly shifting, I've noticed the plants asking for a little more attention. Water needs change, and we can't really stick to the same old watering cycle anymore. These days, I'm seeing so many tiny plant babies sprouting, and honestly, this time of year feels magical for plant care. Just a little extra water, some leaf wiping, and they start shining all over again.
I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in long conversations. Cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you keep on waiting. But then you came along and proved me wrong. I was so mistaken. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. I was never the one to give up the ghost. No, I was so stuck. I kept on playing my part, wanting to give up cause nothing was changing. But with you
There's something about soft lighting. It can instantly make a space feel warm, cozy, and almost magical. I got this IKEA lamp a while ago, and this corner of the living room really needed a little glow. So for now, it's going right here, although I'm sure I'll keep shifting it until it finds the perfect spot.
cause you
Lately, I've picked up this habit of fixing the cushions and tidying up the living area before heading to bed. It's now become one of my favorite parts of the night routine. Not gonna lie, it took me a while to get into it because most nights I'd just be too sleepy, but now it feels so calming to do this little reset. And before the lights go out, I quickly soak some nuts or dals, whatever's needed for the next day, and place them at my little soaking station, the one I shared in an earlier video. Such a small step, but a game changer for sure.
oh my sweet baby.
When it comes to keeping my home fragrant, I don't really reach for room fresheners. Incense sticks are my go to. I just love the calming aroma they fill the space with. But the ash can be a bit of a problem, right? I recently came across this hack where you can reuse a beautiful planter or pot, fill it with sand, soil, or anything similar, and use it as an incense holder. All the ash gets collected neatly in one place and it actually looks really nice too. Maybe don't place it in your prayer corner if you're not okay with the soil idea, but otherwise it's a super handy trick. And the second one is a baking soda hack I just found. You know that odd smell fridges sometimes develop? People often place an open bowl of baking soda inside to help with it, but that can easily topple over. So instead, put the soda inside an empty salt or pepper shaker. I haven't tested it fully yet, but I love the idea and it looks much neater too. Definitely worth a try for sure. If you've been to Ikea, you probably know about these burger patties. These are made with potato and broccoli basically and have a very basic flavor profile, but somehow these taste heavenly to us. We found a way to make for a hacky yet fancy dinner using these, one that is not at all time taking. I like to first cook these on the pan a little, pressing them a bit to get a nice crusty outside. That's basically all there is to it. I'm sure even you folks have some shortcuts just like these that your family appreciates. Like, I know at my Mill's place, I keep hearing stories where they tell me they would bring rumali rotis when she would have made a nice sabzi or curry at home. In fact, back then when deliveries weren't that common, someone from the home would actually go to their standard food joint and get those packed. The sheer joy of that special dish being made at home with all the waiting for that one family member bringing the rest was another level. At dinner time, everyone would come together to relish that hacky meal put together by the various little contributions of everyone. It's funny how these tiny everyday moments used to bring so much joy. Life felt full without needing much at all. Do you have a memory like that too? I'd really love to hear it.
Feathers in my hair and braids around my waist. I'm almost a bird. These mountain views and pink sunsets got me shitting skin.
This is truly the season of plants, and I honestly can't get enough of them. Which also means my visits to the nearby nursery are only going to increase from here. This time I thought, why not take you all along?
We all long for Viva la vida.
Even if you're not into plants, there's no harm in walking through such beautiful spaces, right? Just to soak in a little bit of nature's calm.
Happy to see ya. And the air fills up my lungs and it tickles. Oh, what a joyful feeling. I think I'm gonna stay here under all these rays and soak up the sun. Ooh.
I have this money plant that's over 2 years old and it's had quite a few haircuts in its time. But all that trimming actually made it more bushy and dense. The only thing is there's a little bald patch on the backside of this planter, so I picked up a smaller one to tuck in and fill that space. Homemaking gives us the chance to touch so many different parts of life, and plant care especially teaches us patience. And I feel like patience is something we all need a little more of these days. It keeps us calm, it keeps us grounded, and whether it's home care, work, or relationships, everything benefits from a little bit of it.
Ever keep taking my time through boxes and light. We were so good at flying, but we can't keep flying. We keep getting stuck on the wrong side of the mountain. We were so good at trying, but we can't keep trying, 'cause we only end up on the wrong side of the mountain.
So that wraps up another lovely week of home love. I really hope today's video brought some joy or value to your day in its own quiet way.
Trying, but we can't keep trying. We only end up on the wrong side of the
Until next time, here's Home Gupshup signing off. See you all next week.